Hi everyone, Morgan here. So I'm going to be talking about some different ways to garden today for the 30 Days of Preparedness collaboration. Be sure to check out everybody else's video down below in the description and check out the playlist for all of their videos. But I think gardening is a really important way for sustainability. You know, when we think about our ancestors and people who have lived off the land, they gardened, and you know, they did like the Three Sisters. You know, they did a lot of drought gardening in a lot of places, which is basically dry gardening, which is essentially just using, you know, the rain. So whatever the rain provided, there's a lot of drought resistant plants. But then there's a lot of people who would garden right near the river, and they'd make like a little channel to their garden. Just so many unique ways that people have gardened in the past. But you know, people have figured it out, and gardening is just, it is a way for long-term sustainability. It just is. And I think that everybody needs to start gardening now. Now is the time to learn to garden, especially for your area. Every area is different. And I usually don't, like I said before, but I usually don't go by zones, because zones only tell me my last frost date. They don't tell me my micro region. They don't tell me my exact, you know, backyard situation or your, you know, soil or whatever you have to do. So you have to learn about this stuff now. It's gonna fly all over me. So here are some ways that you can garden no matter where you are. So the first one is containers. As you can see behind me, I am growing a lot of things in containers. This year has been rough because it has been really hot. But whether in ground or in containers or raised beds, outdoor gardening, of course, is a great way to do it. And depending on where you live, you could potentially grow almost year round. Some places can grow pretty much year round. And then some places may only be able to grow like, you know, 9 months out of the year, and some places may only be able to grow like 3 months out of the year. But no matter where you live, you can grow for even a short or long period of time. So yeah, outdoor gardening like this, of course, it's great. You know, any type of containers, in-ground, raised beds, whatever you want to do there. So the next one is going to be indoor gardening. So I did a video a while back showing my indoor garden and how successful it was. And it was so weird that I got a lot of backlash because people were like, this is not sustainable, you know, to grow things indoors. It actually is sustainable to grow things indoors. I was off grid at the time, and all I was using was two grow lights rather. And they used very minimal energy, and it was just grow lights. And you can grow so many things indoors. People are growing coffee plants indoors. You can grow a million different things indoors, okay? Lots of things. The next one is going to be a greenhouse. So regardless of whether you can do year-round or not, I actually loved growing in a greenhouse. And sometimes my greenhouse stuff was going gangbusters more than the outside stuff. They love, you know, a lot of plants love that humidity and that really nice environment. The greenhouse just really brings out just wonderful plants. There's so many things you can grow in a greenhouse. Even just like a little greenhouse, you could potentially grow year round, especially if you have some sort of heating system, something like that. I opted for a heating system. You do not have to, but I like that heating system so that I could grow year round, even in the cold. It does get cold here in the South. All right, the next one's going to be hydroponics. So yes, that is an indoor system, but hydroponics uses lights as well as a pump. So this is definitely an option if, you know, you have some sort of way set up that you can still do it off grid. And another hydroponic kind of system is going to be this tower, this indoor tower. This isn't either an outdoor or an indoor tower. I love this tower. I think it's such a good idea, and hydroponics really does produce fantastic produce and really fast. So if you can have this sort of setup, you're going to be set up, you know, for a lot of really good stuff. An outdoor tower, vertical gardening, that's another one. I really like vertical gardening. You can do that indoors, outdoors, no matter what space you have. This is apartments, you know, rural, urban, you know, even if, you know, suburban, whatever, you can grow this stuff. Okay. Collect rainwater so that you can, you know, water your garden if you ever need to, like if it's a really dry summer like it was this summer. You know, I had to water all summer long, every single day, because it was so hot, 100 degrees every single day. So that's definitely things you have to keep in mind as well. If you don't have enough rain in the summer, you're gonna have to, you know, water yourself. But if you do live somewhere also that has too much rain, you may want to consider a greenhouse so that you can kind of protect your vegetables and grow, you know, even during those really crazy, you know, heavy rains that some places do get. A few other ideas would be like an edible landscape, something like, you know, you could make like kind of like a food forest. In fact, if you can make a food forest, that is amazing. But there's also hanging gardens and like little square foot gardens that you just do like in like, you know, just a tiny little space. It's basically in containers, but it's like, you know, tiny little space. There's also microgreens and sprouts. And there's also aquaponics. So I mentioned hydroponics, but then there's aquaponics. So you could grow fish as well as water, and the fish with the fertilizer and the fish fertilizer, it's kind of a whole system, but that does also require a pump, you know, so just kind of figure that stuff out. But I think that that's really cool. I think aquaponics is a really cool setup if you can continue to sustain that even without electricity. That's kind of how I think about gardening. There's no-till gardening, there's straw bale gardening. Oh my gosh, there are a million different ways to garden, and I encourage you to look up these various ways. Like maybe if something didn't work in the past, figure out why. What do you think didn't work? And try to figure out a different solution. We really won't learn much unless we take action and experiment. If you think you have a black thumb, I promise you do not. It was probably just maybe a miscommunication of information between you and your plants, right? And maybe you were giving it too much water, too much fertilizer, not enough water. You know, sometimes it's a balancing act and we just have to play and figure it out. And once, you know, you've been at it for a few years or something, you know, you're gonna get it. Get the books and read the blogs, watch the YouTube videos, and, you know, get the knowledge from these other people who have been at it a really long time. And understand that, you know, we all have struggles. Every single year something's going to be different. Even big ag, you know, it's not just us private people, it's even big ag that sometimes struggle with, you know, natural disasters or the weather or pests or whatever else. So we also have to understand those concerns as well. You know, learn how to compost and make your own fertilizer, yeah, you'll be good to go. A whole nice little self-sustaining system. Learn to garden today. Maybe just start with like a couple plants, you know, in your windowsill or something, and boost that confidence, and then start for something much bigger. Thank you all so much for watching, and please do head down to the playlist for the 30 days of preparedness collaboration. Check out all the other videos in this collab. Conquer tomorrow by preparing today. I'll talk to you later. Bye.